Hi, everyone. Welcome to a new episode of Crypto Tips. Today is a very special episode. We have Shash from Altcoin Buzz, a really great YouTube channel. So, hey, Shash, thanks for joining us today.
Thanks for having me. I'm super excited to be speaking with you guys. Finally, I've been a huge fan of your channel, and to be on it is like such an honor. Thanks for having me.
Oh, of course.
Yeah. Sure.
So, Toby, why do we want to have him on the channel today?
I mean, Shash has been amazing with his calls on small caps and just waiting for them to boom. And, you know, he's one of the rare guys that actually understands a lot of these projects. And whereas some people just throw their cash at something and just hope for the best, whereas he actually has a pretty good knowledge base on these coins. And he's been doing this since like January 2016. That's when this channel started. So yeah, he's got over 200,000 people watch, or 200,000 subscribers, which is huge, and over 20 million views, which is crazy. So yeah, congrats on your success, man. You totally deserve it. Yeah. So, I mean, some of the questions I want to ask you, let's just jump right in. Yeah, I want to know, like, okay, so the first question is, what do you think ETH is going to do next year? Like, how high do you think, what's your thoughts on that? What's your prediction?
Firstly, your intro about me is way more flattering than it really should be, right? Like all these numbers when it comes to subscribers and all are literally vanity metrics, right? Like I know how Heidi talks about Tron most of the time, and then like suddenly it's like, you know, bloody numbers don't matter anything. They don't matter, right? What matters at the end of the day is what's your value addition to the space. And the same goes for anybody who's making content to any project that's building something, right? So the calls have been good, the calls have been bad, right? Like we made so many mistakes. So kind of reflecting back, the success has been bittersweet in its own way, right? But talking about Ethereum, price-wise, I've really been bad at analyzing stuff. Like we know Ethereum is going to go to 10,000 bucks, right? Like if you're going to question that, then like what's the point of being in this space? Like if Bitcoin is not going to 100,000, then what's the point of being in this space, right? And there has been no reason why these shouldn't go to the prices we think. The way I see it, it's more about perceiving the space without too much time bothering us, right? Prices and time kind of bother me a lot. So I just look at it from a long-term perspective of how I will survive in this space. So the point I'm trying to make here is we will see a $10,000 Ethereum maybe in 5 years' time, or maybe in 1 year's time. Like I did not know the bull market was going to come, like sort of the altcoin bull market like we're having right now would happen now. Like I would have said it like months ago, like, hey, like I think it's coming, but nobody knows, right?
Exactly.
So I can't give on prices, but do I love Ethereum? Yes. Like whatever's happening on it, like the amount of work happening on it, I'm just super fascinated. I can't even sleep anymore. Like I've got eyes, like I can't, like I'm so excited about what's happening. And it's been 4 years of constant goosebumps for me in this space. I can't get over it.
Yeah. There's always something new to learn about. It's like, if you're bored in crypto, it's because you're just not really looking for sure.
Now, do you think ETH 2.0 is going to come out this year?
I have no clue.
That's a harder prediction to make.
That's a harder prediction than the price prediction, probably.
I mean, if ETH 2.0 comes this year, then the price prediction is actually an easier one to make. But it has to come, right? Like I think I was just swapping on Uniswap, right? Like, so Uniswap for me has become this addiction these days that I keep playing with it all the time, even just for fun, right? Because I think something cool needs to be built on Uniswap all the time. I think I'm unable to, like, it's for me in my head, it's like Google and the internet, that's Uniswap to Ethereum, right? Like that's how I see it. And I must have spent like $1,200 on fees in the last 12 hours, just like Uniswapping, like just like, okay, bro, I want to send you this token, or you should check it out. And I buy one of some coin worth 1 cent, like $10 fees, $20 fees, $30 fees, insane.
Yeah.
It needs to scale, right? Like else everybody move to Polkadot, and Ethereum will be in trouble. I was tweeting about the other day how Andreas Antonopoulos once said in his video, right? Like the first cars that came out for the first 10, 15 years didn't have a steering wheel. They had horse reins in them, because we coming from a traditional like horseback riding background, now suddenly we're on a car. We don't know how this thing should be, right? Innovation hasn't taken place. So how we see the DEX space so far, whether any of the existing DEXs we had were taking financial centralized ecosystems and replicating them on how they should be. Uniswap comes with this order book management, this automated market making, rewarding people for adding liquidity to the pools. It's mind blowing, right? Like it's so fascinating that, and they don't have a token yet. So like for me to become super excited about it is like simple, like I'm like, nobody can, I'm not shilling anything. Like it's just a protocol.
Yeah.
I don't mind paying the 3% fees on it, 0.3% fees on it, because it's coming to you. It's coming to somebody who's providing liquidity. So it's in that ecosystem, whereas 0.1% fees on Binance goes to them. So, and I don't mind paying the 0.3 for people adding liquidity and helping them out for being part of this ecosystem, because I will be providing liquidity on another pool where I would get 3%, which I would not get on Binance, right?
Yeah.
So, yeah, I don't even know the question anymore. Like
No, yeah, that's a really good point though about Uniswap.
Yeah. Okay, so the next question, now that we are in a bull run, do you think multiple coins will be in the $1 trillion market cap? I mean, considering the amount of capital that's being thrown into just the DeFi space, in such a small amount of time. And so considering when Bitcoin probably reaches $20,000, you know, I think there's a good potential that it's going to lift all boats like rapidly, with mainstream media and everything. And then you have all these, you know, retail getting in, and they're talking to their mutual fund providers and going, hey, can we get into this? So, I mean, what are your thoughts on where we're headed on that?
You said $1 trillion, right? Like
with a T.
multi-trillion dollars market cap for altcoins. Now that
no, not just for altcoins, but like
more than one bit, like
more than one coin. So we know Bitcoin's going to reach $1 trillion. Like, obviously, it's going to hit $1 trillion.
Obviously,
Ether probably $1 trillion.
You're in finance.
If Yearn goes to $1 trillion, I'm done. But I mean, you know, maybe a couple of these like small caps that you're buying right now, they could potentially, I mean, they could go anywhere pretty much.
The thing is that this is the reason why I'm able to hold on to stuff that I buy, and I can focus more on research, is because the big numbers and the big gains, they're not the things that excite me personally, right? At the end of the day, what the gains, so this is how I see it, right? Like I've lost so much money in this space initially, like so much money, and every friend of mine has lost money, and we've made money and lost money and made money. What it boils down to is that the money that you lose is essentially the cost of education that everyone needs to pay for being in this space. Like if you don't pay that cost of education and you've just had gains, you will pay at some point of time, because there is no easy money even in crypto, no matter how much you know.
Exactly.
But when you make the gains, that is the space thanking you for surviving and being in this space, right? Like that's exactly how I see it. So I have this really crazy survival mentality that I want myself and my company to survive next 5 years. And whether we make a ton of money, that'll be awesome. But I'm having a hard time following the development in technology with this space to bother so much about the price part personally, right? So on the channel, how we work is in a very decentralized manner. So I have various people who I want to become, who I want them to become heads of various departments. So like Frank, he looks after the technical analysis, and he's getting into all this automated market making and yield farming from now on. He's the one who tests all the exchanges. Matty is more into the fundamental news side of things, and we work very independently. And my job is to do base research. Like my goal is to see where this trend and the industry is headed, right? $1 trillion to me sounds like such a big deal for any of the coins right now that it's beyond my imagination for even Ethereum right now to see them grow to $1 trillion. Like it can go, but yeah, maybe in 5 years, 6 years, hopefully if it goes early, wow, I become rich earlier and I'll have a better background then. I won't have boxes lying around. I will have like fun stuff behind, I guess.
Fun stuff. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
I'm sorry, that's not the answer.
No, it's
no,
fine.
it's
It doesn't
good.
have-
It's great. So you say you're, really focused on kind of keeping your thumb on the pulse of the trend. What do you see could be next happening with DeFi, or for the good or for the bad? What are you thinking?
I think the whole DeFi space has kind of shown us the biggest strength of the crypto market ends up being its liquidity, right? Like look how liquid this space is, that you can lock in value for a thing, and then you can take out the liquidity from it and then lock in into another thing and then take out liquidity from it. And it's like that whole tweet we all saw, right? Like the inception that Andre Cronje, right? Andre Cronje is like, he wrote about that whole, how the thing is kind of becoming an inception over the other. And this type of collateralization, financial tools for multiple things can be built. So we were covering this coin called Ethers. It's basically a gaming platform on Minecraft, and they're building their own server and their own engine and everything. But what they're allowing for people to do is collateralization of the land on Minecraft. So you can take a loan on it, you can take rent on it, you can sell it, buy it. Like there is so much that you can do on it.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it's like, okay, so if that can be collateralized, then what are the real world implications of it? Can actual land be tokenized and further collateralized and stuff that can happen? So a lot is going to happen with the whole blockchain gaming space, because a lot of stuff that I'm seeing now, like chain games and Ethers and a bunch of other games that are doing fundraising, are coming up with DeFi tools within their ecosystems. And that's been very fascinating for me. I don't think it's going to be a confirmed trend till it does. The big problem with that is that gamers, they don't care about money. They don't want to spend money. They want to play the game. And right now, if I'm a game developer, I raise money. Do you know how much I raise? Like 10,000, 20,000. It's not millions, right? Like a game developer doesn't raise that kind of money right now. And with that $20,000, if I have to send 50,000 transactions of NFTs to people, it's going to cost me $500,000, like at $10 a transaction right now. I have $15,000. Exactly. How can I be decentralized? The cost of getting decentralized is very high. But the point is, when this scales, if a company, maybe probably Engine, I hope it's Engine, but they're able to figure out how can this be done so that it's decentralized and cheap and fast, that's when we will have the blockchain gaming space really moving. And I keep in touch with the Engine team to understand what's happening. And I think they're solving a lot of cool stuff, and would be interesting to follow what they're doing. I want to see gaming projects on Polkadot. I haven't seen any, I haven't followed any. I'm kind of looking for something to happen there. What else excites me? Payments. I think what we have realized now is that there's a big difference between investments and payments, right? Bitcoin is not for payment anymore. And there are three basic reasons why Bitcoin really doesn't work for payments. Number one, by the time I send it to you and you get it, its value is different, right? So you'd be like, well, I wanted like $10. You send me 9.2, dude, like send me 0.8 more.
Yeah.
So it's like, okay, fine. That's one problem. The second problem is, if I am an institution and I want to make 10,000 payments a day, let's scale it up, right? Let's blow it up. I'm PayPal and I want to make Bitcoin payments. Now, every time I send to you Bitcoin, the fees is different. 1 second, I have to pay like 10-cent fee, then it's 12-cent fee, and there's 15-cent fee. The fee is inconsistent. It doesn't work for payments. And the third one is the time. Once I will send it to you, you'll get it in 2 minutes, and the other time you'll get it in 2 hours.
Yeah.
So this kind of this problem can be replicated on Ethereum, Bitcoin Cash, Litecoin, Ripple as well. Ripple's faster, the other ones are slightly faster, slower, whatever, right? Whatever said and done. The point is, nobody is willing to use this as payments. And I have tried, and I'm telling you, like last 4 years, I'm like, dude, if I have to make any payment, the first thing I do is, will you take Bitcoin? How about Ethereum? Litecoin is so much cooler, so much faster. Charlie Lee's already selling his light. No, that's not the point.
Yeah.
But I'm saying crypto payments is a problem that needs to be solved. And that's why I got very excited like 3 months ago about XDAI stake.
Excellent. Yeah.
So what they have done with their stake governance, like coin and XDAI, is scaled DAI in a way that the fees of DAI goes in DAI. It actually solves that payment problem in a really, really nice manner. One is, if I send you DAI, the fees is one, consistent. Second, it's in DAI, XDAI. Mm-hmm. Which means, okay, let's take it to real world. Let's talk adoption, right? Like, how will we get adoption if things are so complicated and so expensive? Adoption will happen when my mom can send me USDC without having to spend Ethereum, because she can't scale it up to the next guy.
Yeah. Sure. Yeah.
And I can send my mom USDC, but then she's like, can you send me like $5 in Ethereum? I'm like, $5 isn't going to cut it, mom. Like, it's not going to cut it anymore.
Yeah.
So payments is a problem that will be solved. It needs to be solved. Cryptocurrencies solve it. We have a lot of interesting solutions. Fuse is another one that really excites me. Like Fuse.io, what they're doing is they're allowing for people, it's like Wix. You know what Wix is? Shopify. Mm-hmm. It's like that, but for payments using crypto. So they have like 200 different payment solutions, 10 different pilots launching on their platform. I was so excited when I learned about it. I've been following them for a while now.
So what are your, okay, so other than Uniswap, what are some of your favorite DEXs that you're using?
I've been using Kyber for a really long time.
Okay.
I think I'm trying to keep updated on what's happening with Kyber, and they're building some really, really cool stuff to not just compete with Uniswap, but also to improve user experience in it. There are a couple of things that they have. I've seen their improvements since 2018, right? Like how they have changed stuff and how the token has gotten utility and stuff. So Kyber and their DEX, and the fact that it's natively integrable in multiple different platforms with Kyber Swap. And I've been using it since like 2019, I think, since they got integrated on the Engine wallet. So that's been cool. I use the Binance DEX for some of the coins that I can't find anywhere else. No liquidity. I think sometimes I really feel like, the order books don't really add up. And sometimes I just want to trade. I want to buy stuff, sell stuff. And I'm like, I don't really care so much about the price. I want to kind of get something. And whereas in Binance, if you place an order, you'll get it. On Binance DEX, very few coins have liquidity. So that one was good. What else was I use? I'm keen on testing out Nash Exchange. They have a non-custodial wallet solution for using sort of a semi-centralized exchange, but the keys remain with you, and they figured out a solution for it. So that's the one I want to test out. 1inch is interesting because they have multiple exchanges integrated in them. Frontier is another solution that allows for, I think this is what they do, is allow for various APIs, like they provide APIs for various exchanges and their liquidity for apps to implement it in their apps natively. So it's kind of like bridging this huge gap for allowing Uniswap to be on a exchange. But I could be totally wrong here. Like I've been trying to understand a lot of these things, and I get some of them, and sometimes I need to spend more time.
Yeah, I'm still trying to figure out like a lot of these coins, these brand new coins that I don't fully understand, but I'm looking at the potential of these things, and
like more the technicals first.
Yeah, like sometimes I'm trying to get on Uniswap and it just says insufficient liquidity. I'm like, oh man, crap. And so I'll get on to, there's 1inch or whatever, which I haven't used yet, so I got to learn how to do that today. And I just feel like I'm missing out on some of these coins just because go to sleep and next morning it's up 300%. So
But for like, so now we're seeing a lot more people, I think, enter the crypto space for one reason or another, what's happening with the economy or their job status. And they're entering at the same time where it's like this big kind of explosion of DeFi and altcoins. So what we're getting asked a lot is like, how do you find these new coins that you're getting into? Like, how do they come up on your radar? So what's one strategy that you use for that?
So I go through everyone's Twitter accounts, like all the big Twitter accounts, see the comments that people have posted there on my Twitter account. Like this is where I start. And then I start looking at one website after the other. If the idea makes sense, then I explore further. If it is like totally like, oh my God, this is just,
Copy paste.
outrightly nonsense. I'm trying not to. So I think I'm at that position right now where I'm not trying to get too bothered by price, right? Like with a lot of these coins, like even farming and stuff, I'm not farming or anything. My goal right now is to understand what is going on. In 2016, 17, I lost a lot of money post that is because I bought a lot of stuff. I didn't really understand what was going on, right? Like I was going through the motions without realizing what was up. And one thing I did in 2018 and 19, and suffering I was due to financial problems. But one thing I did realize is there is so much more value in survival in this space, and you will make so much more money if we try to jump into everything and we're like, okay, we don't want to make money off this and this, we missed an opportunity and we kind of feel bad about it. What will happen is we will want to get back. Like, okay, that could have been a 3x. Now I've lost it. Now how do I recover it back? But you never made it. I never made that 3x. I used to be in that mindset early and it hurt me quite a bit. Like one of the big problems I used to have is like, okay, I lost this money. I could have made it. Now where do I make it back? And then I'm FOMOing into something. I think making money, investing in this space, as well as being in this space and learning about it, have to be completely separated. So like one thing I did recently is like, I decided that I'm going to buy and sell. I'm going to understand the passive income tools. I'm not going to do passive income. Like I'm not going to start farming. I'm not going to start yamming. I'm not going to start, staking and all that, because it's a distraction for my work, which is understanding and researching the space, because this stuff takes time. And so I just buy, hold and sell stuff. And I'm not doing stuff which has the rebasing and everything. I'm not getting into it because it's time consuming. Like I have people who are friends of mine who are making a lot of money, who call themselves humble yam farmers, right? And they're like, why aren't you yamming? Why aren't you wheel farming? And I'm like, I don't have the time for it. So it's easy for me to FOMO into this and be like, okay, this is the new trend, but I'm still understanding it. And there is a lot of value. And this is like, I want to tell the audience as well that there's a lot of value in just being here, being patient, taking your time to understand. Like there is nothing which is running away, right? Like if you're not here for the next 5 years, you will lose everything you learn. Yeah, that's like the mindset behind.
Yeah, absolutely. That's something that I've learned too, is like, as I started this channel, it was kind of like, as I learn it, I pass it on, and it really felt like a jigsaw puzzle to me. But, over the years, sticking around and staying committed and consistent, you start putting the pieces together and you can kind of better identify the trends and have it's much easier to have a long-term perspective. So yeah, it's solid advice. And it's something that really isn't said enough, I don't think, by people in this space. So yeah, it's great.
Yeah, I know it, right? Like you are an OG, right? Heidi, you're like pretty much one of the people who like completely respected in the space, who've done almost everything. Like you understand concepts that most people come to your channel to learn about. Like, okay, oh, this is what this means and this is what's happening, right? And the amount of time and effort you've spent in this space, analyzing, teaching, telling people about it, that's value you've added to the space, right? And it will pay you off in dollars at some point of time. You will make, you've been making, but you will make more. And that's why you will make more, is because this space has a way to pay you back. And you will always get a second opportunity. Like if people think Bitcoin's not going to go below 10,000, well, they haven't been in this space long enough, right?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. it's the long game, right? It's always about the long game. And if you can keep from sacrificing your reputation in the meantime, that should be your goal for sure.
Yeah, it's interesting. I mean, especially like I'm kind of on your boat where I'm not yield farming. I'm staking like 2 coins. That's pretty, or like 2 or 3 coins or whatever. But the rest, like it takes up so much time to go find out how to stake and all that other stuff, where I could be learning about different projects and stuff to get into. And yeah, because learning takes a lot of time, especially with all the,
and especially if you're doing it all yourself. Like it's great that you have a team, you know, you can come together and really focus each on the different areas. So that's pretty cool.
Yeah. We don't really have too much of a team to do this. I'm just staring at my screen for 10 hours a day. So, but yeah, I mean, how much time do you usually spend per day on researching?
I don't know. I spend every time that I can researching while I'm sleeping, when I'm waking up. I hear
you're dreaming about it. That's good.
Yeah. I'm dreaming about it. Like, but it's not, it's like, so it's hard for me, right? When I got into this space more seriously in 2017, I didn't come from like a technology or finance background. So this fintech space for me, I knew I had to work twice as hard as anybody else to survive in this space. And like, I didn't even have any money at that point of time. I was like, I want to be part of an industry which is, you know, new and has money in it. Like, I just wanted to be a part of an industry. And I knew I would learn and I will make something out of it. Just being early in the internet was so powerful, right? Like, if you started a blog, like Anand Tech was one of the blogs that started back in early 2000 and stuff. And like, it became like a multi-million-dollar organization just because they kept reviewing stuff. And I'm like, okay, we just survive and we put out good, bad, boring, whatever information out, and let's see where it heads. Because what people don't realize is that it's not just the price which is volatile. Everything in this space is volatile. Your mood is volatile. Your like understanding is volatile. Your like possibility of everything, like just the trends are so volatile. Like the trend stays for 2 days and then it's gone. Like how fast these trends that we're getting excited about now will go, we don't even know. Like it's super volatile. The regulations are volatile. There is not one aspect of this space which is not volatile. Trust me. Like you guys know this better than I do, because I guess you've been in this space longer than I have. So you've been like, I think you must have seen much more than I have.
Yeah, probably like the most consistent thing about crypto is its volatility. So the least volatile thing about crypto is its volatility.
Well, speaking about volatility, I mean, what are your thoughts on where we are headed next? Do you ever think about like, okay, so first, you know, you had the ICO phase and that kind of went crashing down. Everybody's like, okay, well, that's it for Ether. I'm like, not really, guys. I don't think you understand Ether. And then boom, this comes DeFi or whatever. Where do you think this is headed?
But what's happening on Uniswap right now is like ICO, but ICO 2.0 sort of a thing, right? What we figured out is that, okay, so what was the problem with ICOs? You didn't get listing, boom, Uniswap listing. You didn't get liquidity, boom, Uniswap liquidity. You have better websites now, and you have easier way to do fundraising. Like it's ICOs, but things are slightly better. Not all of them will have long-term value, but some of them will. And the people who can produce good products, I'm a very product-centric guy. And if there is a product I use, I buy. Like I love crypto.com, so I bought crypto.com. I liked Chili's quite a bit because I thought I will get into football, but I didn't get into football. So, I mean, I still buy it because I think it's a good investment, but Engine, we make NFTs all the time, give it to the audiences. So I bought like a ton of Engine as well. And Bitcoin we use, Ethereum we use. If Uniswap comes with the coin, I'm going to buy everything that I can afford to buy.
Sure. No, I hear you. It sounds pretty reasonable to do that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely coming from, like you were saying before, a user mentality of not just like a speculation or an investor.
So the ICO phase lasted a couple of years, or about a year and a half or whatever. How long do you think this will last for, this DeFi space? Because I mean, I guess the difference is because most of the projects that I've noticed in the ICO phase, just it wasn't a working product. Is now you actually have working products and stuff. So I mean, what's your gauge on like how long that's going to last for this, or is this just a completely different animal where it's just going to be,
it's just a thing that is
going to morph into different things and just never go away?
I think the latter sounds about right, because one key factor with this is that what will stop it, right? Like at the end of the day, what happened with the ICOs, what stopped the whole market in 2017 and 2018 was Korea stopped people from buying crypto. China put bans on it. Many countries were like, okay, enough of this stuff, stop buying it. And then people are like, okay, we can't buy more than $3,000 a week, or there were restrictions on many exchanges. The market kind of collapsed, and there was nothing to hold it strong at that point of time. And having good products, having working products, having utility for coins that people want to use within an ecosystem is very powerful. We didn't have that the last time. So how will it stop? I think, again, like, I think when the government see people making a lot of money in something, that's when they kind of start stepping in. I think regulations are going to be a bit of a painful part of this, maybe. How do you regulate it? I'm not too sure about it, but what else can stop it, right? Like, I think the world has so much liquidity when it comes to the government's printing money that I think this can go on for a bit more.
Yeah, exactly.
One thing that does bother me is that Bitcoin's not even at 20,000 right now. So, so it's a problem, right? Like, because what happens when Bitcoin starts moving, and that will be the real test for these altcoins. So when Bitcoin starts inching from 15,000 to 20, the ones that really survive, the ones that people are still using, and if they are, that's the strength that we will see of the space, right? Because if people are like, okay, I'm out of YFI and I'm going into Bitcoin, well, then you don't truly enjoy it. You're not really seeing the value of it, but you're like, no, I'm holding this and I'm keeping my BTC. Of course, you'll have to keep your BTC, but that's what I'm excited to see.
Yeah.
How much people survive and how many get wrecked during that time, because I'm a bit concerned about Bitcoin moving now. So I'm actually taking a higher Bitcoin position at this moment.
You're taking a higher Bitcoin position. Okay. Yeah.
It's an excellent point too. And also it's, whichever DeFi tokens or altcoins are being used, that's why people have to have it. It's like the more logical reason to lock up coins rather than, for lending liquidity or staking coins or something. If you're actually using it, that's a whole other reason to, hold them rather than just to speculate on the price. So that's an excellent point. Once Bitcoin starts moving, who is still going to be holding on to those and using those other coins despite that? So that's an excellent indicator. Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I guess, once it reaches 20,000, I don't see really a roof to Bitcoin. Plus, so then they're all going to FOMO into that. But I mean, I saw that happen in 2017, 2018, when Bitcoin hit 20 grand. And I mean, the alts didn't really get, when Bitcoin peaked, it kind of raised the tide for all the alts. So I'm not sure how that's going to play out, if it's going to be similar or what, but I mean, history doesn't always repeat, but it rhymes. So maybe that's still the case.
The thing is, the alts that you were referring to, I still think they will move, because I think when Bitcoin starts moving towards 20,000, what will pump along with it is Bitcoin Cash, Ripple, Litecoin, Ethereum. These things haven't really moved as much as the low caps, right? So when the market starts moving with Bitcoin, I think the higher caps, more currencies will move. I mean, this is just like my logic thinking, not that I see too much value with these, but they're legacy coins now, right? Like they're there. Like you cannot you cannot compete with them. You can't make one of these new ones though, but they have had so much history that they are like semi-precious metals already, like precious metals, but not gold, you know. So if the metal market starts moving with gold, the other metals also start moving along with it. But that doesn't mean that it's connected with the Amazon stock, which I'm referring to the DeFi market right now. So it's kind of like, so it'll be super exciting. I can't wait to see how this plays out. I think we will win. Like you, me, our audience will win regardless, right? We just have to see where it's heading, and we will all win. Like having your bets on Ethereum, Bitcoin in majority, keeping it in like coins that you understand is the key. Like one thing I do buy is stuff that I understand. And I don't buy stuff which I completely, or even if I don't understand it enough, I've stopped buying that stuff. No matter, even if I lose 100x, it's fine. Because I don't want to lose on something I don't understand and then be like, I don't know why I lost value in it. So what's happening now, people who could have understand a simple product like this are FOMOing into something they don't understand, which is DeFi. And because of this gap, because people buying stuff they don't understand, when it goes down 5%, they're like, oh my God, I don't know what this is. Maybe I'll lose one. Then they start selling, right? And the thing falls like crazy. And that's why we have such crazy volatility, because most of the people don't know what they buy, right?
Yeah.
So
that is so true. Oh my gosh.
Is there anything else you want to wrap up? Maybe let people know how they can contact you. And guys, if you haven't already, subscribe to Altcoin Buzz. It's a really great YouTube channel. Highly recommend it.
It really is a good channel.
Yeah.
I mean, we're not kidding around like this. It's one of the best out there for sure.
yeah,
So,
thanks.
yeah.
We really, like with the channel, our goal is to be the kindergarten of crypto, right? So I watch your channel, I watch Vox Mining, I watch Data Dash, Ivan on Tech, Chico Crypto, whoever, like everyone's like putting out intelligent content. We want to be at that, you know, get the basic information. And then when you want to do an MBA, then go to Heidi's channel or go to Vox Mining channel, right? We don't want to be the MBA of crypto, and we like proper basic, like if you want to keep updated on stuff, our channel works.
Awesome.
If you want real deep insights and like understanding yield farming to the brim, and, you know, understand, you know, the difference between DPoS and proof of work and stuff like that, we don't really want to do that yet. So if you want basics of crypto, you want to understand, keep updated with stuff, we cover all coins, whether we hold it or don't hold it or whatever we find interesting, we cover it. Our channel is like super open like that, and we're always open to adding new content creators. So if somebody wants to give it a shot to create some content on the channel, we're always looking for more people to join. So if anybody in the audience wants to connect, you can connect with us on Twitter at altcoinbuzz.io. And I think this was so cool. I think I'm just being so excited to be on your channel because it's a really big thing for me. So thanks for having me.
Oh, thanks. Yeah, that's a huge compliment for me as well.
Awesome.
Yeah, really enjoyed this. So maybe we can do this again sometime soon. But in the meantime, thank you for your time. And yeah, we'll be sharing this out pretty soon. So thanks,
Thank
Shash.
you.